Hey, everybody, good morning. It's Monday. I believe it is September 16th. We're 16 or 17 days away from the Now Honors and the Power of Pink. I've been talking about this thing for almost 100 days. That was the plan. It's all about Now Honors and Power of Pink. October 3rd through the 5th, right here in Las Vegas, live on stage inside Palms Hotel and Casino at the Brendan Theater. What you may not know about the Brendan Theater is the family that created the Brendan Theater chain is also the family that created the Chinese Theater in LA, in Hollywood, on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it's beautiful. We got to see the owner suite. Ooh, very nice. We might actually go up there and take a couple of interviews. It's going to be awesome. But right now, I got to tell you, we started this journey 4 years ago, and I called this young lady. I actually reached out to her. She didn't know me from Adam and invited her to be a part of the first Now Honors. Before we even started the Power Pink, I wanted to honor her as our first Woman of the Year. And I thought she's never going to even reply, let alone say yes. And we did it virtually, and she said yes. Changed my life forever. You know what? She's a mentor. I'm proud to call her a friend. Peggy McColl is in the house. Hey, Miss Peggy, how are you?
Hey, great to see you, Tigo. I'm so happy to be here. It amazes me that it's been 4 years already since you started this incredible thing. So I'm excited to be here with you.
I'm excited that you're part of the journey. I mean, you're the first 6 women that said yes. You're truly a part of the fabric, of what we're doing. It's like we carry you with you're still on the website. It's like every year it just goes one more, one more, one more. And it's amazing. I want to thank you. I've thanked you, I don't know, countless times before, but I want to thank you now for just having faith, because people come up with crazy ideas, especially on
Mhm.
social media. And then they reach out to people such as yourself who have an amazing career and say, hey, can you help me? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm sure you get those calls all the time. And you said yes to me. The first question I got to ask, why did you say yes that first time?
Yeah, I love anything that is designed to bring greater value to the world. And that's who you are, and that's what you do. So it was an easy decision for me because when I wake up in the morning, I ask myself the question, what will I do today that brings greater value to the world? And so it's like a modus operandi. It's the way that I operate every single day. And I love it. It's very rewarding. And this is what you do. So it was an easy decision, one of those no brainer decisions.
I want to thank you. And I see you're now back over your shoulder looking good back there. That is, yeah, that is awesome. If people don't know who you are, which if y'all have been living under a rock, how do you not know who she is? I know you're now working on your 25th book, correct? What got
Yes.
you into writing and producing and, a little bit of Bob Proctor and all of that? What got you
Sure.
going?
Yeah, it was January 1979 that I was dragged kicking and screaming because I didn't really want to go. But I was mandated to go to this seminar one evening. I was working for a company in Toronto, January 1979, and the speaker was Bob Proctor. And I had a BA. We're not talking about a Bachelor of Arts degree. I had a bad attitude. And I didn't even realize that I had a bad attitude and I had no clue that it was affecting my life the way it was. And so Bob Proctor woke me up. And when he started to talk and he talked about how attitude will control your altitude, where you're going to go in life. And I just started to open up. It was just like this opening that came and I thought, oh, this man really knows what he's talking about. And I made a decision that evening that I'm going to study. And I did. I signed up for Bob's programs. I repeated them multiple times. Things started to change in my life. I started to feel better and started to really get into this space. So in 1994, which was 30 years ago now, I incorporated my company. And,
Wow.
I started serving people, teaching them how to create their own destiny. And I was inspired in the early 2000s to write my first book. And I really feel that writing my book was the best business decision that I've ever made. It really was. It really put me on a new trajectory. It's an instant credibility builder. And since then, I'm working on book number 25 right now. I've written fiction, nonfiction. My trilogy, Savvy Wisdom, is being made into a movie. I mean, so many incredible things have happened since then. So I feel very, very blessed to, discover my passion and follow it and pursue it, because it is the most rewarding career I could ever imagine.
Okay, how do you go from having a bad attitude? I got to use that, by the way. I hope you don't mind the
Not at
BA.
all. Yeah.
Okay, having a bad attitude to being the queen of manifestation.
You
How
know,
was
it,
that journey?
Yeah, it is a journey. Life is a journey, and that journey is not stopping, anytime soon. And I think we have to realize that. I remember hearing Bob Proctor say, "I'm going to study until the day I die." And I was thinking, well, that's fascinating. I understand it now, because our lives can either get better or they can get worse. Now, most people
Yes,
aren't doing
ma'am.
anything about it. Most people are sort of sitting on the sidelines watching their life go by, thinking that, there's some kind of a plan here. But the plan is, what would you love? Really, it is a great question to ask yourself. What would I love? How do you want to be living your life? What do you want to create? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What would you love to be doing with your love? And we have that choice. I believe we've all been given that choice. And so I think it's a choice we get to make every single day. It really is. I was on the phone this morning with my good friend, Phil Goldfine, and
Mhm.
he's an Academy Award winning producer. He also won Tonys. I mean, he's very accomplished, extremely accomplished. He's won Emmys, he's won Tonys, Oscars. That EGOT,
Wow.
like Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. He doesn't have a
Mhm,
Grammy
the
yet, but
EGOT.
he has the E and the O and the T. And we were talking about that, how both of us are so devoted to studying and teaching in these materials. And we're both commenting on, you've got to be doing this work every single day, because it's necessary. It's part of oxygen. I feel like it's the oxygen to build your dreams is really what it is.
So there's so many people, I feel. I'm from the South Side of Chicago, and my parents were from the South, Arkansas and Mississippi. And I've met a lot of people that, as we used to say back in the day, fintu. They're fin to do this and they're fin to do that, and they really do nothing. They just kind of sit still, right? And they're letting the days just go by. And they're looking for somebody to come along, knock on the door, and say, "Come on, I'm going to take you to the road to success. I'll drive. You just sit in the back, eat popcorn. And when we get there, you can get out, walk on the red carpet, and be a superstar." How do
Mm.
you handle the people that come to your world? Because now I have people coming to my world, come to your world where you know that they're really not going to take the journey, but they want to, as Maya Angelou said, peck you to death like ducks and just get as much information they can possibly get from you that they're really not going to use. They're going to get it today. And then Tuesday, they're back to complaining how life is not fair. How do
Right.
you handle that?
Yeah. I think there's a whole bunch of things that floated into my consciousness as you were asking the question. And one is, find somebody who's blazed the trail before you and learn from them. I call that
Mhm.
compressing years. You're really compressing years of their work, their effort, their wisdom. They've tried these things, they may have failed and likely did fail along the way, but that's valuable. That's essentially valuable. So I know there's a lot of people in the space of personal development nowadays, with the World Wide Web the way it is, that are out there claiming they put their flag in the ground saying, "I'm a coach," whatever. But I think we really need to look at results. Bob Proctor used to always say, by their fruits, you will know them. So look at someone's results, find someone that you can learn from that has been there, done that, right? So they can shave off years of your time and likely save you a truckload of money too. But the other part of that really is the discipline. This work, on creating results, on improving your life, on living your dreams, takes an enormous amount of discipline. You got to be
Yeah.
really ready to discipline. When I think back to when my life really took a quantum leap, it's when I created there are two things I did. One was I created a daily discipline checklist so that I was certain to follow through on things that I knew that were going to up level my life. And the second thing is I created a recording where I talked to myself about how incredible life is now. It's all about the
Wow.
now. And I listened to it, and I've been listening to that for over 30 years. Now I've changed it over the years because I've accomplished a lot of goals. But that is really a reprogramming of the mind. And that's what we have to do. We have to reprogram the mind. But understand it's going to take some time. But you know, the best way to do it is at night while you're sleeping. Like that's what I do. I create these recordings. I have a free app now on iPhone. It's called Power Life Script, totally free. And I go in there and I create these guided audios for myself where I talk to myself. One of the ones that I have on here is my Savvy Wisdom Success. That's the movie. Another one is the concept of self. That's me, who I am as an identity. The other one is my life,
Nice.
Power Life Script. And then I have another one that I talk to the universe. And I listen to them, I rotate them, I listen to them every day for hours. And at night, I just push play and let my Power Life Script play while I'm sleeping. I recorded it in a very quiet voice, so it doesn't keep me awake.
I have to try that. I wrote it down. I'm going to go get that after we finish this interview.
Excellent.
We've mentioned Bob Proctor.
Mm.
I can't remember how many times I've interviewed you, at least 4 or 5. And we've always talked about him.
Yes.
And, he's been gone now 2 years or
Yes,
3?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. How in your journey, 1979,
Yes.
until 2.5 years ago, how has your journey continued since his passing?
It's funny because my Savvy Wisdom series, I wrote their fiction. It's a fiction trilogy. You can see it on my shelf up here. At the end of the second book, Savvy is a character I created. That's based on Bob Proctor. And of course, he died in real life. And I was writing book 2 at the time, and I changed the ending. And then I wrote Savvy Wisdom from Beyond, which is really about reconnecting with his energy. Because Bob used to say that, don't cry for me when I'm gone. Just think of me and I'm there. And plus, he had such a big influence. And, with all the content that he's left behind, his legacy that he's left behind. But that man had a greater impact on my life than anyone else as far as being a teacher or a mentor. Now, I met him in 79, January, and he was my mentor, and we became friends. In fact, we started teaching together, which was something that I had set as a goal. And I made it a reality. And I feel that the reason why I was blessed to work with the incredible Bob Proctor is because he saw me as somebody who applied what I was learning. See, it's not enough to study. It's not enough to go to the seminars, watch the videos, read the books, listen to the audios. You got to be applying what you're learning. And Bob was a very simplistic teacher. I love that. He helped people understand at such a simplistic level. And I follow that model because that's the way I learn too. So he's still influencing my life. And I just think of him. Sometimes if I'm looking at making a decision, I'll think, well, what would Bob say right now? Or I'll hear his voice. I was talking with him on the weekend. I can hear his voice giving me guidance.
That's amazing. I know right now there's a few people that are looking, and it's 1979 for them, and they have a BA, a bad attitude. And they're thinking, wow, it'd be awesome to have Miss Peggy be my mentor. I know you have programs for that, but you also have amazing work that they can go out there on YouTube and your websites and get to know you and start practicing. How would you suggest someone just getting started with their BA? They want to start moving forward, get their master's.
Yeah,
and maybe their doctorate. How would you say they get started with working with you if they wanted to work with you?
Yeah, come to our free events. I'm doing free events all the time. I just did one called The Power of Assumption. I think it was one of the best ones that I've ever done. You can find them on the YouTube channel as well, the Peggy McColl YouTube channel. We're constantly, I'm creating giveaways. I created an ebook recently. You can find it on the front page of my website. It's free. It's called The Instant Fix. You know how we're talking about having a bad attitude. This is a way to get out of that fast, like fast, fast, fast. You want to shift your energy away from the negative because it's destructive over to the positive. And so I've got all kinds of freebies. There's a number of free ebooks on my website as well. So we've got a lot of content that we share with people. I would suggest go straight over to PeggyMcColl.com and they can access the free content there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I love being able to call you friend and mentor. That's just, feather for me in my cap to be able to say that. But I want to shift a little bit because after COVID, a lot of people 50 and over got deferred and laid off and and they started a new journey, you know, and they're going, oh, how do I balance? Because now what they thought was hard was being, working a 9 to 5 and taking care of their kids. But now they've got grandchildren and a bigger family, and now they're trying to start a new journey. What's your advice personally for balancing your life,
Yeah.
as you start that journey?
Yeah, I think it's really important that you take care of yourself for sure, because if you're burnt out, you're not going to be of any value to anyone, right?
Right?
So I think it's important to block off the time, like block off the time in your agenda. Make sure that you're doing the things that, fuel your spirit too, whether it's going for a massage or whether it's, getting your nails done or whether it's just taking some time off to go for a walk in the woods. Do those things and make sure that you take time for yourself. I always I set rules in my business where I generally say that I don't work evenings and I don't work weekends, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm flying because I have a speaking engagement, and that's okay. It's still relaxing and enjoyable. But for the most part, I don't book calls after a certain time of day. I don't book calls before a certain time of day. And they're kind of like the rules that I govern my life by. And I think it's important to do that so that you do take care of yourself.
You said you're on your 25th, 25 books from
Mhm.
1979 to 1994, and then book, and now 25th book. Are you going to stop at any time? Are you just, you got a goal? You said, I'm doing 100 books. That's what's happening. Trust me, stay away from the 100th thing. This is my 80 something day of being live. Talk about sticking to it. Or have you just said, wherever the journey takes me? And what's this new
Exactly.
book about?
Yeah, it's wherever the journey takes me. I started actually, my first book came out in 2002. So it's only been 22 years and I'm on book number 25. And
Wow.
I totally allow spirit to guide me. So it's intuitively guided. If I feel intuitively guided, I'll write. So the book I'm writing right now is called The Moment of Creation, because the moment of creation is right now, this very moment. And in
Mhm,
1 minute,
mhm.
it'll be the moment of creation. And most people aren't living in the now moment, imagining and feeling as if their desire is in their life right now. But that's what you must do. In order to manifest something into reality, you have to feel like it's in your life right now. So if you're feeling like it's in your life right now, you are in the moment of creation. There's either two states. You're in a state of longing, like you want it, or you're in the moment of I have it. And that's the moment of creation. So this book is going to guide people to understand what it is, but more importantly, how to be in that moment more often.
How do you calm the voices? It's like for me, my nickname is Squirrel because I'm concentrated for a second and then something goes by and I'm like, so that's my nickname. My nickname is Squirrel, thanks to my brother. How do you stay in the moment? Put the blinders up when you have to stay on the course.
Yeah, I love that. I would say I'd probably be called a squirrel too, because I think that's high energy people. But we also have the ability to direct our attention. So what I do is I create switching techniques. So I've just become really good at noticing if I've gone off track, making a
Mhm.
decision, and then switching back. So if I find myself starting to go down a road of thought that is destructive, I just stop myself right away and go like, okay, what would you love, Peggy? Okay, then I put myself right back on track. So I just create a new squirrel, and the squirrel is going to be the squirrel that I'm going to focus on, which is now that I have accomplished this, how do I feel? It's a redirect of attention. And you may have to do it 45 times in the next 30 minutes and do it. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But you'll get really good at it. You get really good at switching, and you want to get really good at doing it fast.
Wow. What's next for you?
There's no end, baby. I am
I
so
know.
excited about life and about what I'm doing and the things that I'm creating, and I just stay totally open and I follow guidance, from the universe. Like, and it's every day. It's like, well, how will I serve better today than I did yesterday? How will I serve better today than what I did yesterday? I love it. I love my life. I love what I do. I love serving, and I just feel so blessed to do what I love.
You mentioned, and I was going to let you out of the hot seat, but that made me think two more questions. So I hope you got 3 more
Sure.
minutes.
No worries. Happy to be
you,
here.
you said serving. How important is it for you to serve communities, to help nonprofits, to be there for others?
It's everything. It's everything. I feel that's what serving is. I think what you just said was almost like a description of what serving is. That's really what it is. It's not serving myself. It's like unconditional, right? Like when a parent has a child, they unconditionally love that child. I unconditionally love serving. I mean, there will be some things that I'll do, and I have no idea if there's going to be any return whatsoever. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm an entrepreneur. I run a business. I've been running a business for 30 years. That's when I incorporated my company in 1994. So as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that if you're not generating revenue and creating profit, you'll quickly be out of business. So, you have to have the common sense as well as the intellect involved in creating a business. So, I do a lot of stuff for free, but we also charge. There's fees,
Right.
for certain programs. I don't do mentoring for free. I don't do my programs for free, but I do a lot of live events for free. I'll do speaking for free. I'll do free giveaways and things like that. And that is the way that you can still serve. Like YouTube channels free, Instagram's free, like all these things are free. So you have a balance. We were talking a minute ago about balancing our business with our, free time too.
Uh-huh.
I think you have to have a balance in your business as well.
You have been a guest on my show pretty much since I got started with this show, and I want to thank you for that. And for those of you that don't know, Expert Talk is my show. I talk to trailblazers all over the world, and Miss Peggy is definitely a trailblazer and a mentor. And I promised you, first interview, I would never sandbag you and I would never put you on the spot. I'm about to break that promise, so don't be mad at me.
Ooh, it's all good, all good, all good.
You took the journey with us for the Now Honors blind, had no idea what it was. I want to know if you want to do it again, because we have a new awards coming up in March 20th to the 22nd. It's called the Trailblazers, and I want to honor you as our first ever mentor in the Trailblazers.
I'm there. I'm going to write the dates. You know what? As you started to speak, I don't know if you can see this or not, but as soon as you started to speak, I had this whoosh feeling go over my body. It started in my toes. I still have it. Like if I show you my legs, I have goosebumps. And to me, this is the way that the universe responds. Like I'm totally in tune with what feels like the right thing. And I had that is a confirmation unlike, any other kind of confirmation. It was so strong within me. It was like, wow, yes, absolutely. Yes. Now, what are the dates? March 22nd?
20th to the 22nd, with the awards is on the evening of the 21st.
I'm writing it in my agenda right now. I know we had a little bit of a challenge a couple of years ago when I was still recovering from a health issue, which was such a gift in my life. I mean, it really was. It was a gift in my life to think about, to receive that kind of, and just, is it okay if I say something about that? Can you go if you
Absolutely.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with metastatic stage 4 cancer. Okay, now that's not the thing you want to hear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend who was diagnosed with the exact same cancer around the same time, and he died a 1.5 years ago. And I just made a decision. I got a lot more to do in this lifetime, and I didn't say I'm going to beat this thing. What I did immediately was I saw myself in a healthy body. It wasn't that I ignored what the diagnosis was, and I did not ignore what the oncologist was suggesting as far as treatment. I went for the treatment. That almost killed me, but I just saw myself healthy, vibrant, alive, feeling great, feeling wonderful, and feeling energetic. And I am so there. Like I feel like, man, I got a lot of exciting work to do, and I'll be 66 on my next birthday. So we're not talking like a spring chicken here, but I feel so good right now. And I just feel that it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what challenges you're going through. I've been through all kinds of them: financial challenges, relationship breakups, divorce, like health challenges, losing my parents, losing my brother. Like I've been through a lot in my lifetime, and everybody goes through adversity. Doesn't matter, who you are, where you are. Everyone's going through adversity, or has gone through adversity, or will go through adversity. But I find the stronger you are in your mind, the stronger you are emotionally, the better it's going to go, for sure. And, when I told Bob about that, because he was alive when I received the diagnosis and I started going into the treatment. And as soon as I told him, he said, I'm going to create an audio for you, and it's only going to be focusing on you being in a healthy body. And I had my Power Life script and I had Bob's audio. And when I laid in the hospital bed, because I was hospitalized for a few weeks, I was in pretty bad shape. Wow. And I just listened and listened because, my ears still worked. So I was just impressing in my subconscious mind over and over again. And until I was back, and I still listen to it. I still listen to my audios every single day, and I am in a healthy body. But challenges will come, and you got to decide. You have to decide. What would you love? I decided I wanted a healthy body. I'm living in a healthy body. I am turning this around, and that's what I did. It was a gift. It was a great gift in my life. I understand now what that's like. I understand
Mm,
struggle. I really do understand struggle. And as you know, Tigo, like when I wrote Savvy Wisdom, that's about a young girl who went to the park to kill herself. And that's exactly where I was in my life as well. So I know what it's like to be deep down in a hole. But you also have to stop digging. If you find yourself in a hole, this was Winston Churchill said, you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. And that's what I did. And I'm so glad I did. Life can be a challenge. I mean, it really, really can. But, we've been given that gift. I mentioned that earlier, the gift of choice. And we got to decide, how do you want to be living your life? What would you love to create in your life? What would you love right now? And go for it, because we got the power to create it.
see, that I cannot wait to share a stage with you.
Yeah,
We
me
have done
too.
everything virtual until this moment. I can't wait. I'm probably gonna cry, and I'm a crybaby. You just need to know. But I cannot wait to share a stage with you, and present you with, mentor of the year, because you're amazing. And I haven't met one person, and you and I have been in this industry. You've been in a couple of months longer than me, but you and I have been in this industry for a little while, and it's like, so and so is great, but so da 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 da. But I have never heard Peggy McColl, but not one time.
Oh,
Not one time. And it's like, that's an accomplishment that is super hard to attain, even if you're working a regular 9 to 5, let alone out there in the public the way you have been for 30 plus years over the time, and 25 books. I cannot wait to share a stage with you. I think you are absolutely amazing. Maybe next year you can make it to the Now. That would be awesome.
okay.
October 2nd to the 4th, so you have it in your
I'm
calendar.
writing that down.
October 2nd to the 4th. I you're amazing. Thanks for always having my back, and always coming when I call. You're absolutely fantastic.
Well, I
Thank you.
love you. You attract people who are like you, Tigo. I mean, you really do. You're an incredible person. I think, right away, I knew what your heart is. I know where your heart is. I know how much you love helping people, and you've built this, and you're continuing to build it, and you're expanding it, and including the men as well in the in the other
Yeah,
version that
in
you're creating.
Trailblazers. Absolutely. And one thing I've never thanked you for publicly, and I got to do it now, is, I'm dyslexic. I've never hidden it. People know I'm dyslexic. And you had sent me your book, and I said, oh, thank you. And what I usually do is have somebody read it for me, and then they give me a short synopsis, and then I'm ready for the show. And the book came kind of close, and I didn't have time to have it read. And we did the first interview, and I was honest, hadn't read it, didn't know. And I explained why. And you said, you know what? We just recorded the audio version of this. I'm going to send you the raw files. And you did. And I sat there, and I've probably listened to that good 15 times.
I love that.
I will sit there and just plug it in, and it's like, okay, let's go. Let's take this journey. So I want to thank you so much for that, because you understood. You didn't just say, well, then call me when you have, you
Right.
understood, and you not only understood, but you made it possible for me to be able to listen. And I thank you so much for that too.
Oh, you're so welcome. We all learn in different ways. I'm more of an auditory learner than I
Mm-hmm.
am visually. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, both work, but auditory is better. That's why I love listening to audios, and so we got to find our own way, right? What way is going to work best for us? Whether it's listening to audios or viewing different things, but nonetheless, what I love about you is you're always expanding your knowledge and your understanding as well. And that's valuable. It's really, really valuable. You bring value to the world. And I think when I met you, I just thought, oh, we are so soul sisters. I mean, we really are, you know,
We
because
really are.
yeah, so it's
And
so
I'll
great.
be 61 in November, so I'm right there
Woo-hoo!
with you. Yeah, I'll be 61 in November. I can't wait. We're going to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, you being
Yay.
cancer free. And we're going to compact it all into 3 days in March. I can't wait to see you. I thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to see you in March.
It's always a pleasure, Teresa, and I'll see you in March for sure. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that episode. You know what to do. If you want to reach Peggy McColl, go to PeggyMcColl.com. Go to social media. Go to YouTube. You can meet her virtually there. Or go to Tigo Direct. Type in Peggy. Type in McColl. She's coming up. Send her a private message. It costs you nothing. It costs her nothing. It's just our way to bridge the gap and make sure everybody can stay connected. Reach out and say, hey, how do I find your books? Or how do I come to your next course? Or I love what you're doing. Just reach out, and she'll reach right back out to you. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want you to come back next time. And yes, it's tomorrow. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye. And